booties for black girl nerds.
Thank you so much. Hi, Devon. You look so beautiful today. I love
Thank
what you are
you.
wearing. Thank you for your time.
No, I so appreciate it. How are you?
I'm very good. Thank you. And excited. Oh, I'm so excited. I, like everyone's mentioned, I'm sure we've seen the first two episodes. I'm already leaning in. I already want to know what is going on with all these people. And it
Yeah,
got, and I got to thinking about it's fun to see, even though it's scripted, these conversations that are happening with people on the other side, executives and managers, and all this team that supports talent. So, with your character, Destiny, Destiny is an integral part of the team, but seems to have more heart and compassion for Jocelyn than anyone else. Is that a blind spot? Is it by design? Or is it just true to her, the nature of who Destiny is?
I would say it's true to the nature of who she is. And I also think it's by design, meaning that Destiny plays chess at all times. I don't mean that to say that it's manipulative or false, but meaning you have to be in order to be good at this job, and you have to roll with the punches constantly. And so she knows she's going to get more things done with Honey. So, and also she genuinely cares about the girl, you know what I mean? And I think, especially being a woman in this industry, there is definitely a support that is built in between the two of them, and she wants to see her succeed, you know what I mean? So it's just another black woman holding somebody down.
Exactly. Be in the heart and in a way that no one else can be, especially compared to Jane's character, Nikki. I looked at the kind of
I
juxtaposition of
know.
these two women. It's
I
like
know.
there's some balance somewhere in the middle of these two.
Yeah, and that's the thing too, right? Like Destiny's not naive. I mean, it's interesting because what Nikki's saying is not wrong, but it's
Right.
how she's saying it, right? And so it's interesting. Destiny gets it and sees that side of things, but she has a bit more finesse and class and going about it.
Hmm. And the outfits were looking good too. It looked good doing it
Thank
too.
you. Most of it was my own clothes because I was very
Really?
adamant. Yeah, I was really adamant about I wanted it to tell a story with the clothes. You'll find out as episodes go on that actually she has a more personal relationship with this industry than it's led on to be, right? And so I wanted to show that there is that sense of she's a somebody, you know what I mean? Still within her presence. I wanted it to be like both armor and her uniform. So that's why I had it mostly and predominantly black. And that in no means is she trying to hide. And also, we had decided that she's from Harlem, so too it has a sense of the New Yorker in the room in comparison to the LA cat. So yeah,
Mm.
I really found that fun to use clothes as a way of another form of storytelling.
Oh, that's fascinating. I'm glad that you said that. Now that I think about what you were wearing the first episode, black leather, white and black dress, because I was feeling the dress. I'm like, I need that. And so now that you say that and tell me a little bit about a little canon of who Destiny is, oh, I like that kind of juxtaposition. Very nice. Thank you for telling me that. I appreciate
Absolutely.
watching. I enjoyed your career. I've spoken to you before for another project, and now to see you in this is a wonderful, wonderful opportunity. When who called you to let you know it was a go? Does Sam call you? Like, how do you find out for a project like this?
So as it was told to me, Sam had a meeting with uh I had a meeting at the agency that I'm at. And he in this like part two, right, or the second revision of this show, they added this character named Destiny. And as he was pitching it to the agency, he said, you know, like a Divine Joy Randolph type character. And so they were like, oh, well, do you just want her? And he was like, no, I don't, there's no way I won't be able to get her. There's no way. And they said, well, let's just try. And so a couple of days later, I didn't know about I didn't know anything about anything. My agent said that Sam Levinson would like to talk to you about a project that he is about to do. And he and I had hopped on the phone, had a nice conversation. And I remember Abel had hopped on the Zoom with him and we got a chance to chat and they kind of just shared their vision. There was no script that I was given, no sides. And it was definitely taking a leap of faith, but it was one that I was willing to take. Number one, because I know Sam's aesthetic and his track record. That would be a no-brainer. And two, though this was Abel's first time at acting, I have always been very impressed by his work ethic and his ability to really capture an audience. And so I was like, of course it'll carry over to his acting. So I found it as a no-brainer to definitely go for it head on.
I love that they called and asked for like, a divine type of actress. Why not get the woman herself? Might be
Yeah.
the blueprint for him. I know that's right.
Yes.
With somebody like Sam who has such a strong aesthetic, and I like that you mentioned earlier that you're using your own clothing and you have created this Destiny character who's based in Harlem. When working with someone with such a strong vision and aesthetic, how is that marrying those that partnership between the two of you, putting yourself into it and what your creative vision is and working with him and his creative vision.
Yes, Sam was a complete open book. He was down for whatever. It was a true collaboration. He would say, well, what about this? And what do you think about that? But like, yeah, I like that. But what if we add this to this? And he's like, absolutely, let's try it. Why not? So I've never had experience like that in my life where a director was that collaborative. And it was just so amazing. And then especially then to see now for the first time, because I watched it a few days ago for the first time with everyone else in the theater of the premiere, and it was so amazing to see how in fact it all came together and that it worked. That's always a very exciting feeling.
How do you feel watching yourself? I've talked to lots of performers over the years who
Mm,
say, oh, I don't like to watch myself. I will only watch what's absolute necessary. And then I just can't do it. So what is that experience like for you?
that's me. I don't like, I don't know. You know what it is? When I approach a role, I do as much research as possible and try to get very familiar with the character. And then when it's time to do the work and they say action, I go there. And I don't really see then or associate myself with that character.
Hmm.
So if I were to watch in between takes while we're, you know what I mean? It would be the death of me because I'm then critiquing it, criticizing it, and the beauty of me having this sort of reckless abandonment or like, you know what I mean, like chaos within bounds, so to speak, of just trying all these things and being free would immediately stop. So that's a
Mm.
huge reason why I don't. And also, you're putting yourself out there. That's so vulnerable. You know what I mean? And so my biggest fear and why I don't do it is that one day I'm gonna see something that Davine, doesn't like in a more vanity type, you know what I mean,
Mm.
way. And that then will tarnish this place that I'm really enjoying being in of my process. You know what I mean? I don't want to mess with my process because as of current, it's working for me. And so that's really, if I'm honest, to be completely transparent with you, why I don't. That I'm afraid I'm going to see something I don't like, and then, you know what I mean, I won't be able to get back to the other way of working.
I like that. I like that. That I'm gonna have to meditate on that because I think about that often myself. I don't like to watch my interviews back either. Once it's done, it's done, and someone else can
Yeah,
critique it.
and you know too, it's like the catch 22 is you got to do the work, right? So to trust that you can set it and forget it, you know what I mean? But yeah, like if I put myself on tape for an audition, I'll watch it because I need to watch it. There is a little level of critique, but I also like to work with people who I trust, whom they can be their, you know what I mean? Like the director needs to be my eyes. I don't need to see that. I just need to do the work and lose myself in the character. So I also am employing and hoping to have said director be my eyes.
Well, Davon, they are wrapping me. You are brilliant and beautiful. I'm very excited to talk with people about this series. I'm enjoying it so far, and it's just an honor and a pleasure to speak with you again. Thank you so
Thank you
much.
so much. I look forward to meeting you again.
Thank you. Take care. Thank you. It's lovely to see you in your window. It's very bright and beautiful in your space, and I appreciate your time.
Oh, I appreciate yours.
Thank you so much. I'm very excited. As all of us have mentioned, have spoken to you, we've seen the first 2 episodes. I'm already leaning into my screen and wanting to know more about all these people that we're being introduced to.
Great.
So beginning with your character, Nikki, and it's fun to see a series like this when we as journalists sort of work in that type of space and see some of the conversations that are happening with talent and all of these things that go on. So looking specifically at Nikki and what she means to Jocelyn's career and what voice she serves, someone has to be the voice of the business because ultimately it's making money. So with Nikki, with the qualities that she have, is it so much about being an astute businesswoman, or is it sort of a character flaw that she is so unmoved and is so dedicated to the business itself?
It's a great question, and I think people are going to have to decide that for themselves, and that's a good conversation for people to have in general, just about what it takes to be not just an executive, a high-level executive like Nikki is, but also like a mom. What does it take to be like, or a dad? Like somebody's got to be the heavy sometimes to keep things alive. You cannot have everybody just say, you can't baby people too much. Like, part of the conflict that Sam set up well is that Hank Azaria and Divine Joy are managing her, and I'm though about, like she's their client, so they're going to tell her yes more than I might, because I have to say, look, it's do or die. We've got to get it done. And I think that it's not just in show business, it's really any business. And like I said, there's that dynamic in families, that aren't running a business.
With this show, it's beautifully shot. We're all very familiar with Sam's work and what he's done with Euphoria.
And Marcel Rev, his cinematographer, is a genius. Yeah.
It's gorgeous, like just even from the opening scenes and just what viewers will when we first are really introduced, and it's being shot at the house. What are those days like for all of you? Because they're very elaborate. We're meeting everyone in the introductory. So is that a long day? What are those days of shooting those introduction into the characters?
It's not any longer than other days I've experienced on every other series I've ever done. They're very long shooting days, on every series. These were actually shorter than often because Sam knows what he wants and he just goes and gets it. So I didn't find it unusual.
When you work with someone who has such a strong aesthetic like Sam, how does that help you as a performer to do your
Yeah,
best?
another great question. It makes me feel working with someone like Sam, it makes me feel confident and cared for because I know he's going to pick only the moments that are the kind of moments that I would want to see. So I can give lots of take during different takes, maybe different choices, and together we're all kind of finding like what is the truth of this moment so that the audience can then the audience gets to take it in. We're just telling a story, they get to decide what they think about it.
What was your understanding of Nikki when you were first introduced to her on the page? What were your initial thoughts of who she was?
I honestly, I just looked at it and I thought, all right, what I want to do with this woman is going to say what's on her mind, and she's not going to care about what is PC, what other people might think is impolite or offensive. She's going to tell it like she's going to call them like she sees them, kind of thing. And I thought, let's see what that does. And it was really fun to do that. And then Sam writes like these wonderful monologues where I get to say things that or Nikki says things that I think are really interesting, and that there are people who will want to hear them.
I did. Nikki has some incredible
Yeah,
lines
right.
in the opening episode, and I really sort of cackled because maybe it's a generational thing, and there's some people who are going to say, "Oh my God, it's so this," but I mean, it really is generational compared to what the talent that she's working with, and so is it fun to kind of wade in that water in a time where a lot of sensitive language there outside?
I am so glad you asked that question. And yes, like it's really fun because like even the smile you have on your face now, it's like like the fact that it makes you cackle makes me so happy. Like that's a victory. Like, yeah, people should I like that it's gonna make a lot of people laugh, and then the people that it upsets, all right, so they're upset, like it's a free country. Thank God. Yeah.
At least they're moved. At least they're moved in one way or another.
Right.
With this show, there are some people who are going to be hung up on the aesthetics and it's so provocative. But what do you think is the underlying heart of the show? We're meeting Jocelyn, we're meeting you and Devine's character, and Hank Azaria is amazing as Haim. What do you think is the heart of the show?
I think that that's going to be like with a lot of shows or films, like it will become more and more clear. It shouldn't be like in your face right away. Like I think though that Lily Rose, her at the center of this is her face. You can just read all the emotions, and like that first shot, I mean, I don't want to spoil it for anyone, but there's that first shot where it's very clear that you're looking into this woman's emotions, and I don't know, I think she's the soul of it, and so we'll see what happens with her.
So as you await for the world to watch it, I also love that it'll be episodic, that we don't binge it all at once. Like I want it to burn. Like I want to have that excitement every week for it to come back. So what will you be doing as you await? Will you be active? Are you a social media type of person? Like how will you interact as it becomes public?
I'm the opposite of a social media type person. Like I don't do a lot of it. I don't, but a lot of it can be fun. Like I'm not poo-pooing it either. I just don't do it. I'm also like a certain generation, like you said, like I like hiking. I like taking photographs on the beach. That's the kind of thing, just to get away from the business. I think nature is a big cure-all, like I'm sure that in some off conversation, Nikki was advising Jocelyn to go take more walks. Like go take a walk and look at some trees and try to or maybe go to the beach, go look at the ocean, put your feet in the ocean, she's probably said to her.
Well, I thank you for your time. I am so excited. I was really a little mad when I got to the end of episode 2. Because I'm like, there's not any more. Why can't I press play? There's no more.
I love that you felt that way. They were thinking of showing, it was like they were either going to show 2 or 3 episodes, and I was really hoping they were going to show 3 here, but they just showed 2, and I felt the same way. I was like, I want to see what happens next.
It's great. It keeps us wanting for more. Well, I thank you so much for your time. Very excited for other people to see the series so we can talk about it, and it's going to be great. Thank you again for your time.
Thank you. Have a nice day.
You too. Take care.
You're so nice. Everybody is so nice.
Oh, I appreciate it. Thank you. You're so talented. It's very easy.
Thank you. You too.
Better shake your booties for black girl nerves. Better shake your booties for black girl nerves.